Yo, going straight off the cuff today. Let me screen record this. Okay, same time. Okay. I think it's going. I do have notes about stuff to talk about, but we'll see where it goes. I noticed during my hip replacement vlog, I'm speaking to the camera like I'm speaking to a child, and I apologize. I'm new at this, and it's still weird to talk to a camera. I kind of have to imagine, a crowd of people behind the camera. Anyways, communicating like this is different from film, and I have to think on the spot. I'm up for the challenge. I'm getting better. Speaking was always something I struggled with. I didn't speak English till I was 9, or comprehending it fully. I spoke Khmer, which is Cambodian language, and I didn't speak that very well either. Language was something I wasn't good at, and hence that energy went towards using my body to communicate or express myself. Anyways, thank you for being patient. Just telling a simple story like that, I can get better. It's crazy because I have a bachelor's in, psychology. To be able to get a college degree, I feel like there's a certain level of communication. I don't have it. I'm not that guy. But anyways, we're all different. And film is for me to use that to develop myself. First of all, this morning I was really just reminiscing the past about I got to train some real legends. That's crazy. Let's look at a video, because I saw this on Facebook, and it's Michelle. And just thinking to myself, first of all, she's very pretty. And I watched this as a kid. And I got to be a part of her journey, even though it's later. Probably like the best part of her journey. She got the Oscar for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Isn't that crazy? I got to be a part of that. Other people's journey. And secondhand, connected to Jackie Chan somehow. Anyways, you never know where life takes you. It might start off rough, but it gets better or worse. That's really up to you. Your perspective is kind of important. I don't want to screw up anything. Damn. How do I get out of this? Okay. Oh, no. I'm going to edit all this boring shit out, because, okay. I got an interesting message from a follower. Might I even say a fan. And I gave some health advice. I don't have credentials in giving health advice, so that's my disclaimer. It's just my experience. I just tell people the experience I've went through as a male. I can't give advice to females. We have different hormones and different... men and women are genetically different. That's just my opinion. Please don't be offended. Let's see what he asked. And these are my answers. I'm hoping it might help you. Okay, let's see. Man. He says... Oh, well, I posted a picture of me cooking some steak, and he says, need your meal plan. What he means is like, he's seen how I'm built, and I can eat like whatever to stay however shape at the age of 45. I said, thanks for asking. I have the simplest plan in the world. LOL. Intermittent fasting. 24, meaning I fast all day for 20 hours and then I have a 4-hour window to eat. He says, I used to do that when I was in the best shape. I said, eat a lot of meat and then dessert. He said, 4-hour window, LOL. Dessert, question mark. Yes. He said, do you count calories? I said, I just love dessert. When I say not at all, it meant I don't count calories, but I do have the ability to put down a lot of food in one sitting. Why that's important is if you want to intermittent fast, you have to eat enough so that you can last the next 20 hours. So it is something to pay attention to. The 20-hour fast is something I built up to over 10 years. It took me over 10 years to build to that, starting with just 14-hour fast and then 10 hours of eating window. Seems like no problem, right? Because you sometimes sleep for 8 hours. So that can be part of your fasting window. I think fasting is a must for everybody, but that's just my ignorant brain saying that. The number one thing that fasting does, intermittent fasting does, is autophagy, which is your strong cells eat your weak cells. You don't want weak cells in there, like cells that are messed up like cancer and stuff. Anyways, you should research that. I'm no one to speak into depth about it. I'm just glossing on the surface. But I told him I happen to love all meat and vegetables and rice, and on Sundays I eat all day. I have kind of like a cheat day on Sunday. He asked, what's your primary source of protein? Notice we're overlapping each other, as you know, like a message. I say on Saturdays I train for 8 hours. And then I eat as much as I can a grass-fed steak, or at least organic or something, like go healthy. Because over the long term, eating healthy will save you actually more money. Because you ever seen older people in the hospital? It costs a lot of money and a lot of heartache. He says, I'm going to do 25. That means there's 25 hours a day for him. I think he made a mistake. What store to get the grass-fed steak? I said, Costco has pre-made steak. It's the cheapest grass-fed you can go because grass-fed is so expensive. He says, okay, I'll look into it. I say, but I'm not that strict. I try to just inhale as much meat as I can. And then I think he's asking about, is it on display, like to buy from a butcher? And then I got him a photo, and see, it's $11.49 a pound. So it's still kind of expensive, but is doable. And man, I don't do protein shakes and all that. And I think I'm fine. But it depends on how much you train and stuff. If you want to, that's fine. Backstory: was always in good shape until knee surgery. And since it's been so hard to get back down. Couldn't move around for 2 years at 100%. But I'm sure it's the dieting, LOL. Yes, I feel for him, and this is everybody. Everybody has this story, and more than once in your life, something's gonna come along. So, prior to these type of incidences, you have to prepare. How do you prepare? You build a structure that won't crumble. And that structure, with some guidance, it's not that hard. That's in my opinion. And he's like, oh, what? I thought it was the one I'm near aisle. I say it's the cheapest. And he's like, any portion control on the rice or carbs? I said, nah, homie. I grew up eating white rice. In high school, I ate 7 bowls of white rice every night. I'm not talking about the little Chinese bowl. I'm Cambodian. We eat big bowls of rice. And I inhale meat on top of that rice and vegetables, obviously. Because Cambodian food is very flavorful. You need a lot of rice. Okay. But I've been doing this for 13 years, beginning with a 16-8. I lied. I started with a 14-10. 14 hours fasting, 10 hours eating window. And be patient with yourself because your body takes time to adjust. But then when it adjusts, it really adjusts. Like I've been doing 20 and 4 for 5 years and I don't get hungry. But I do drink black coffee. I love it. I drink about 10 cups of black coffee every day. So my energy is decent. Let's see, the next slide. I did 24 when I was super active, training twice a day. This is an important tidbit. The longer your body looks a certain way, the longer it will stay there. That's what I told him. For example, if you've had a 6-pack, and I go this in the message. If you've had a 6-pack for 5 years, year round, it won't go away. I'll put a video right here. And this video, I'll give it some space. This video is 12 days after my surgery. No weightlifting, especially no ab work, because, I had hip surgery and the front hip flexor connects to your abs. You can't do abs, really. So, thinking about, look, even 12 days no working out and messed up, is still kind of there. And today I just worked out kind of for the first time, hard. Not really that hard. I mean, I feel so weak, but it's gonna come back, but it's already there. And I'm 45. But I do make a disclosure right here on the next slide. I'm on testosterone. I started testosterone at 43. He asked about testosterone, and I said, you have to get your testosterone checked. And my advice is, don't start testosterone until after 40, because you should stay on it forever. And when I'm talking about testosterone, when I got, it's called TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. You're not doing bodybuilder levels. You're just trying to get your testosterone maximized for performance. Mine was already not bad. It was like 700 something, which is pretty good for a 43-year-old. But I told my doctor, something's different. And I want to try testosterone. And I was lucky because my friend recommended him and knew he was lenient that he will let me try. And when I tried, it only went up to 780. That's not that high. Just to give a brief overview, testosterone should be from 300 to 1100 if you're a regular male. Some people fall below. When you fall below 300, you need testosterone. There's no way you can work out and lose weight. Your hormones are messed up. Just the base. I have a friend, Craig. He's 70 years old, and naturally his testosterone is 1,000, even above 1,000. Yeah. So everyone's different. And everyone's baseline is different. I suggest if you're younger, get that baseline. Know where you're normal. I think my baseline was probably 1,000, and so at 700, feel kind of crappy. I'm not trying to get bulky or anything. I just want just enough, like I had before. And so I hovered at around 780 or so. Anyways, get medical advice by going to your primary care doctor, telling them you feel low in energy and you'd like to look into testosterone. If they're super cool, they would just let you try it. However, if they don't know anything about testosterone, they can't do that. It might be dangerous. So they would recommend you to go see an endocrinologist. And then you would do that and then check your testosterone levels. Anyways, I don't want to go long and drawn out about a subject that I'm not an expert on, but that is my experience, and testosterone has changed my life. I don't think I can hold a year-round six-pack without testosterone. So, am I cheating? I don't know. Your testosterone at 30 is higher than mine. And do you have a six-pack? I've built all the things to have it in place. You can't just go on testosterone. You have to have all your blood work good. If you have high blood pressure, you can't do it. So everything else has to be lined up. And the fact that I fast 20 hours a week, 20 hours a day, has to do with all my blood work being perfect. Anyways, it's building everything so your foundation doesn't crumble, no matter what type of injury you have. Let's move on. What does he ask? I'm giving advice about testosterone. I told him a man's prime is 35. Especially when your physical and your mental prowess aligns. After that, your physical declines, but mentally, you could stay really sharp. He wants to just lose fat. That's what he's saying. That's everybody. And you know, I made a bold statement because I make bold statements sometimes, okay? I said that's the easiest thing in the world. To lose fat is the easiest thing in the world. If you just flip one switch in your mind, barring that you have, issues like low testosterone, handicapped, or other medical issues, that switch is realizing that losing fat is not a 3 to 6 month season. It's a life change, entire life change that you have to be consistent with. Once you do that and you internalize that, you're like, oh, I can start to build and lose fat. That's all. I'm not saying six-pack. Six-pack takes effort to get. I think a lot of people blow it out of proportion about how much effort, but I don't know. Let me just say all a six-pack is intermittent fasting and doing ab rollers. Say like 10 sets of 10 ab rollers a day. Building up to that, starting with 10 sets of 2 ab roller a day. It's just the consistency, right? And then at the dinner, how much can you eat in a 4-hour window? Your stomach has shrank the whole day, so you can't eat much, and so you're gonna be at a deficit. And what you're mostly eating is going to be meat, which makes you super full. So you're not scarfing down cakes, So you're gonna probably get a six-pack. Anyways, like accidentally get a six-pack. Anyways, damn, I should move on. It's been 20 minutes. over this period where I had the hip replacement, I was like, I gotta tie up loose ends. What if I die? Or it's not really what if I die, but you should think like, what if I die and I didn't tie up a loose end? Let's do it. And thinking I didn't really have much loose end to tie, except with one person that might have had some negative feeling. I worked with a choreographer named Andy Chang, who's a legend in Hong Kong cinema. You know, fighting Donnie Yen, Jackie, all that. And when I worked with him on Shang-Chi, the choreographer, he was the lead choreographer, and we were assistant choreographers doing the bus fight in Shang-Chi. I think it was one of the first fights. We kind of had different ideas, artistic vision, right? And so I wouldn't even say clash. I was stuck on what I wanted to do, which is stupid me. How can I be? Like, he earned his spot. And so I just reached out and said, hey, I wish you the best, and I never told you that you inspired me. And that's it. And that's it. Those are things you should do. You know, one day we might be gone, and like, you should say these things. And, you know, I listen to Joe Rogan sometimes, not too much. But one thing really stuck with me was he said, you have to tell your friends you love them. Because you don't know. Maybe it's the last time you see them. We never know. It's good. Getting into my feels. Let's do this. Thinking about the future and what I want to do. I do have a lot going on this year. Looking at Hollywood, it's dead. A lot of people that always work aren't working. How do I feel about that? You know, it's not like I'm celebrating that something bad's going on, but I do feel good because independent filmmaking gets a chance. And I have stuff on the independent side I'm involved with. You know, I just briefly go over it. Marshall Club. You guys know them. They've been going at it since they were teenagers. It's been a long time. We released Shaolin Avengers, and we're looking forward to doing a feature film. It's looking good. I'm excited about that. Hopefully the end of this year, beginning of next year, we do that. I have a friend I talked to, Marrese Crump, doing his first kind of like big lead feature too. He's a martial artist and devout father and Christian. So I'm like, I root for you. Hopefully I be there to get to actually like support him, you know, like as a stunt coordinator or choreographer or something. Anyways, I mean, the man is good with choreography. I don't know if he needs choreographer, but I root for him. It's important to root for other people, not just think about yourself. That's for my own mental health too, but, you know, I root for him genuinely. And my friend Chaya Supannarat, I call my sister, she directed Bangkok Dog and last October, Gladiator Underground. Whatever she wants to do, I'm there in support. I want to see her successful. And then something I've built with a friend. I don't know if he wants me to say his name, that's the thing, but we're going to release the first Cambodian graphic novel this summer. I think I'm going to go to Cambodia, do a tour and a signing and everything. And then we're going to shoot the feature film, Bokator Warrior, letting the world know that we're here. And, you know, we're here to compete. How do I feel about that? Am I cocky? I'm not just here to compete, guys. I'm here to take over. That's evil, huh? I mean, that's the mentality I go into doing this stuff. I'm not just trying to be a part of it, though I'm grateful for anything. If the journey stopped here, I've gone farther than I imagined. I lied. I imagined more. But I'm grateful. When we die, it's all the same. Whether you have, my dad says, whether you have or whether you don't have, it's all the same thing. Whether I do Bokator Warrior or I don't do Bokator Warrior, it's all the same thing. At the same time, that's the yin. The yang is, I'm not here to partake. I'm here to take over. I think Conor McGregor said that when he used to, have his wits about him. Anyways, that's what's on my plate. And I'm excited. When in doubt and when tired, don't just think about yourself. Your fuel is the pillars that hold you up. And I constantly think about it, during the recovery of this hip replacement. Like, what are my pillars? The family I grew up with. You think for yourself about your pillars. The family you grew up with. The family you built. You're the champion for them. The brotherhood you're in. Whether you built it, you're part of building it, but the brotherhood you're in is important. We're here in this world for connection. And in a brotherhood, there's boys and girls, right? That's just what I mean in general. How you contribute to them and they contribute to you, and you hold each other up. Only hang out with people who believe in you. People don't believe in you, don't hang out with them. Some people say they don't have a choice. Well, you got to get out there. You find the people who believe in you. You go and get it. If someone's iffy about you, don't hang out with them. Self-esteem is contagious. Anyways, I can go on forever. Sorry to be preachy. I don't know everything, guys. I could be terribly wrong. Fourth one, your purpose. What's my purpose? Start small. Represent a country that is underrepresented, Cambodia. Unifying Southeast Asia because, sometimes there's a lot of tribalism and we hate our neighbors. They hate us. I want to erase all that. And then uniting the world. Whether you're Cambodian or Norwegian, we're all the same, you know what I'm saying? But we're all different too. That's the beauty of it. Anyways, fuck. A lot of people have said this shit. It's so cliche. But, hey, I hope I die, but, prior to all that, because there's a lot of pressure to do, Right now, I'm just talking to a few people. It feels great. Imagine I'm talking to millions and they hang on every word and I make mistakes and I'm not perfect. This is the time for me to actually just chill and be me. So every person who's listening, man, does it mean a lot? It means everything, bro. It means everything. Thank you. And please ask me. I don't know what the hell to talk about. Peace.